Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today with Tuesday 10. So today is when I take 10 things out of my stash that I need to use up. So I have a basket at the back of my desk where I keep all sorts of things like book pages and printouts and magazine pages and all sorts of randomness. And the plan is we keep on working until we use up all the stuff. But I'm here with my superfood latte this morning, and I am going to show you a thing that I've started doing now with this old bead box that I have. So I saw this in a post in my group chat with Mary Ellen and Shell, and basically you create like an A to Z like word box, like, or letter box, and then like numbers at the bottom if you want. So it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And then you find things in books and magazines and you cut out those individual letters for, you know, using later on, right? What I think I probably will do is like maybe tape a letter or write on the back of these so I know what's what, though, because it gets a little bit hard to see what we're doing. Yeah, but I wanted to kind of share that idea with you and maybe just quickly cut these ones up, and then afterward I'll probably put letters on these because, yeah, they're a little all over the place. And I might even, I think, take hot glue and glue down all of these dividers so that nothing, you know, it's like putting some kind of a sealant at the bottom will prevent the letters from slipping underneath. So I think that'll be a good idea. So let's just put all these ones away. So I hope you've had a good week. Last week for me was absolute bananas. It's that every now and then I allude to how we have like a planning kind of week every now and then at my company that I work for. And it was that week last week. So if I was a little bit quieter, that would be why. It was just one of those kind of days. Yeah. H-R... N-O-P-Q-R O-U-G-H-A G B-C-D-E and then S. Boop. Okay, so those are done. We did our little chore. And now we can move on to Tuesday tenning. Okay, so this is the stuff that I have in my pile of 10 things. So first is this lovely like dove or pigeony kind of friend in a nest here with some pine cones. This is some beautiful art, I think probably from like a Dutch art book. This is a lovely floral panel. Some jelly printing with maple seeds. A little fabric snippety kind of roll, a collage board, a whole encyclopedia page of frogs, this little girl watering some roses. This is from like a history book, and I love all of these photographs. And this is from like an art book. Yeah, it's an art book with some lovely old art, textile art by the look of it. Not sure. Okay, so what do we want to do first? I think I'm going to start with these two tall pieces here because I think I kind of want to make something for my current journals with these, actually, because I'm making a nice tall journal. Selfishly, when I was looking through the Tuesday 10 bin, I sort of thought I'm going to look for at least a couple things that I can use in my current journal for this. So it becomes not only a using it up kind of objective, but a use it up and put it in a book kind of objective. So it is kind kind of a quiet day at my house. I need to go grocery shopping a little later on. Nothing too exciting. We had some snow today, and that was good. Okay, so I think what I'll do is double up this. Because I think I want to put her, I've got this, I just have to see how tall I'm allowed to go. Oops. 1 second, I gotta grab something. I'm still here, I'm just right here. So I haven't shared these yet. At least I don't think beyond maybe Patreon, and probably a quick glimpse. But I've got 2 little fawn journals that are underway. Well, they're not little at all. They're actually hunka munka big journals. But this one isn't the one I need right now. It's this one, and I just got to see, because I think I want both of these pieces to go in here, and yeah, they're both great. They're perfect sizes. So let's move those out of the way again. Okay. Do I have 2? Yeah, I have 2 glue sticks on the go. Let's put this one away. I don't need to have 2 glue sticks. Let's use up the first one. I have like nothing exciting in the land of like what I've been watching or whatnot. I did a lot of work this past week on those fawn journals. And on some other things I'm working on, stuff for Patreon and stuff. And I don't know, I've just needed a little bit of quiet time, because sometimes when my work days are so noisy and I'm so busy, I just kind of get a little just mentally overtaxed, and I don't have like the capacity even to talk to myself in a video. So I do apologize if I've been a little quieter. I think it's going to be a little bit of a tough week this week, as you know, lots of things go on in politics and that sort of thing. And what else? I don't have a lot of plans. I know that my daughter's going to be going tubing this week, and I might try to get some progress done on some paperwork I have to do. But I mostly just have lots of work to do and lots of paperwork to do, and that's all boring stuff, all boring life stuff, right? Okay, for this one, I think I really would like it to be a tag, a nice tall tag. I'll probably stitch around it a bit, and I think I want a little, this book spine maybe. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, that's what I will stitch on that one. Yeah, we'll just put it there and get it a little start. I've got my sewing machine close to me now, and I'm always tempted to use it, but I don't think I'll use it a whole lot when I'm filming, because then I'm like going over here. I don't want to put it on this desk. I often don't find value watching people stitch on video. Like, I think it's harder to hear them, and you can't really see beyond the head of the sewing machine, like to their stitches, unless they have a camera set up kind of going this way looking at their needle and foot, right? So there is that. Now this, I was thinking also for that dear journal. Yeah, it's a good height. We need to lose a little bit of it, but I think it would make a really cute booklet. Because the inside is actually blank, so I wouldn't really need to do too much with it. I might just tear this edge. And then might look at my bits of acetate here to see, do I have anything kind of tall that would stand up and stand out a bit? It's already botanical, but I do have, it's a little too yellow, not noticeable. I clearly love like all these ochre tones because I have a lot of ochre. I don't know if I have anything else interesting and big enough though that would go with the whole fawn journal. These are pretty. That's another day. I have this like other basket of things. I started hoarding stuff in up here. And like, it's not good. I need to not do that. Because, yeah. And then these are all smalls, like small things. They're not big enough to be impactful on a large piece. I find I don't like to work with a lot of tiny things unless I'm making like clusters or something. Yeah. Also storing these things in baskets up here. It's not really all of that useful of an idea because like I can never see what's what I have. It was funny, I was looking for like that Tim Holtz yellowy tape last week. And I didn't see it at all, and one of my lovely viewers, she said, "It was in that basket, you missed it." She was bang on right. Okay. Yeah, no, nothing in this either. We just don't have the right kind of stuff. So, I think, unless I have something here that would go in the deer journal, I'm just going to let that be. And maybe, what do I have over here? I do have little bits like this. That would be kind of cute, but I think these things can exist on their own and they don't need one another. I don't think I have any more good deer ephemera left. Little, maybe. I wanted to cut this out anyways because I feel like I don't really want it to be so big. Okay. So what if we were to do this? That would be cute as like a piece by itself, not necessarily on here. You know, maybe I'll just leave that. Sometimes things just need to be left alone. But this happened, you know, accidentally. So let's do this. And we'll incorporate it in something else that I have here. Like the collage board, maybe. Deer Park. Right, like that. Okay, so we have that cute window with Deer Park in it. Now we need to find what will work. I think the collage board would be the best bet. So let's see what side of the collage board. I think this one, and I will just not use that purple. So either this or maybe right in the center there. That would be good. So let's cut this. Keep it here. And I think I'll shorten it a little. Just take that section off. The rest of this is fine. Okay. That's fun. It needs a little something else. Something a little neutral and cute right there. Yeah, okay. Let's bring this together here. Finally got to clean out the tip of this bottle. Oh, it was so like gunked up. Okay. Been enjoying watching everyone's junk journal January. And if I can make a couple of fun mentions about what my friends are up to. Mary Ellen at Red Parrot has been doing a really fun watercolor along challenge as well as junk journal January. I forget the name of the girl who's hosting the challenge. She's this lovely, like, she's TikTok, Instagram kind of like artsy teacher, and Mary Ellen is following a fun watercolor book, casual make along, and it's been nice to watch. And then I've really enjoyed watching Shell and she's doing a really fun video series where she's documenting the books that she's reading, and she does like a nice spread in the theme of the book. And I just finished reading, I finished reading The Serviceberry, and she did too. And then her latest read that I saw was actually Jaleel White's book, The Kid Who Was Urkel on Family Matters. And so I liked watching those spreads come together. It's also a really nice book for like documenting your reading. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. It's like a little, almost like a graffitied kind of wall sort of, but like a little classier, and you can look through this window and you see these deer. Now these, I'm not sure yet what I want to do with, but I'm going to cut this in half because I think I will use it maybe as tabs today. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it as like a piece on a piece or as a tab, but I'm kind of feeling like a tab might be nice. I don't know, or maybe I do want to use it as a piece on here because, now that I'm looking at it, I quite like that. We might do a little stitching with those, and I'll find like a really fun some kind of fun focal point for that too. And I would say those don't really go along. I mean, she could be very cute on one of these actually. Why don't we fussy cut? Do we want to fussy cut her out, or do I want to use a different focal point? Maybe, because that would be a cute tag all by itself. So I'm going to take a little stitching break. Okay, so stitching's done. I stitched this one as like a tuck spot on the bottom, and then this one just at the top. And now I'm just looking through this book. I'm going to try to find a couple of good focal points. I think that's a good one. Kind of a maybe on that one. I don't know. No. That might be cute too. Yeah, let's use that. Okay, so those two. And the rest of this book, I think, there's so little of it left, I'll probably put it in Tuesdayten, the bin. Okay. Sorry, I just had to pick up a piece of paper here. This piece of paper got all gnarly and crunched up here. But it's a really pretty paper. So let's save it. Okay. Now, I think I will cut this out. And what do I want to use on what? I might put her on this one and her on this one. We'll get them cut out first. I think take a bunch off that bottom. Then we'll just fussy cut around here. Okay. We could only really fit on the bottom of that one, so maybe I'll consider putting this one on here, because that would be maybe a little better. But let's cut this girl out and see how she will fit, because she's gorgeous and I really want to use her. I also love that wallpaper in the background, so I'm going to put the rest of this paper in my scraps, because I think it'll be a really beautiful background for something. It's a soap ad, I believe. I haven't read it. I'm so busy concentrating. Yeah, it is medicinal. All right. Little tricky spot. Okay, let's get that off. And then it's a little bit less to fight with. There we go. Okay. Then we just got to cut out her little feet and then right in around her hand here. Not too bad. It's funny, I usually pick my daughter up from her bus, but my son, he comes on a separate bus, and so I picked up my son today. When I got to the bus, he was asleep on the bus. It was so cute. So the bus driver said, you know, he was singing for the longest time and then he went quiet and I'm pretty sure he fell asleep. And I said, that's exactly what the situation is. Okay, I want to sort of keep her straight. Maybe I should have waited before stitching this down. I don't know if I can pull it up. No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's an option. But I kind of like this maybe better. Let's see. I don't know if I kind of like the color the other one better for her. I'm not sure. And I want to keep that bar of soap in her hand. No, I do like that. That's cool, actually. So, what are we thinking here? We could totally get rid of the baby and just have her here, but I already cut that off. So that kind of needs to be, yeah, it kind of needs to be on that side. It needs to be lower. Let's just go with it. You know what? Just go with it. I'm sure it's going to work fine. So we'll set this over here. We'll do this one first. Can't stress about these things. Okay, so right there is where I want her. Maybe a little more this way. Yeah. And then we'll cut that right off the back. And then I think I will turn this into a tag. Okay, good. And I think I will stitch around that one. And then now this one. Now for the final decision on this. I know I'm not going to need the whole thing glued, so I'm not going to go all the way down because we can't fit it. So put about as high as we can go here. Maybe a little more. There, it's good. Yeah, that's good actually. It's cute. Push it over just a titch. Good. And this one definitely needs a backing because it's got wonky stitching on the back. And then maybe something like, few little collagey bits to just brighten it up a little more. Just gives it a little more interest, a bit of a, you know, a theme maybe of like imagination. What could they be doing? Are they reading a story? Is the mother recounting some memories or something? Okay. Perfect. Let's just cut some of those threads off. There we go. Yeah, I think I will probably trim around that as well. But first, let's cover the back of this because it needs a backing. And I want to do that before I do my stitching. This morning on my drive to work, it was so snowy in the morning, and I went into the office today because I had to get my new phone because my old phone that I've used for a couple years now, it just decided to die. Well, it's not completely dead, but it's on its way out. I've done some troubleshooting, and apparently there's no fix for the problem it's having. I like Google Pixel phones. I used to be an Apple phone person, and then they lost their shine to me, and then I went Samsung for a while, and now Google Pixel because I really like the camera. And so I decided to get a new Google Pixel. I had a 7 Pro, and now I have a 9 Pro. And what had happened though is like a couple weeks ago it started doing this, like every now and then it would kind of get like a green flashy screen to it, and I was like, that's weird. And then it started doing it more and more often, and then the lock screen would do it pretty much all the time, and it would go to this like almost look kind of like the Matrix. It was like this green kind of pixelated, you know, screen flashing. So I thought this probably isn't good. And I looked it up, and surely enough it's kind of like a 2-week warning that like your display is eventually going to die. So I was like, oh crumbs, I've got to get a new phone. So that's what I did. Alrighty, so I'm going to work with these frogs now. And I'm going to just cut them down to the parts that I want to use. Oh, they're so cute. So cute. Maybe this summer I'll do like a life cycle, tadpole to frog life cycle project with my kids. That might be really fun to collect some tadpoles and yeah. We've done lots of pond study stuff before, but I haven't done that one with them, so maybe. Okay. Alright, all these little bitty bits. This one I think I'll keep together. And one more to go here. The wood frog. My favorite frog is the rain frog. They're so cute. Okay, so let's work with, I think, a book page or two. Maybe two. Let me take it right out of my glue book here. And we'll make a bit of an interactive and fun folio. I think we'll make it a little skinnier. Like that. Then we need some neutral scraps. So we're almost going to make like a collage board of neutral scraps. I'll try to keep it relatively thin. Don't want like super thick paper. Use that older book page here. Okay. I'm going to put this one on the other side so we mix it up a little. Also need to work with my daughter on she's doing a technology project and gotta work that into the schedule. I feel so like out of sorts this week with it being so busy. But hopefully this week sort of settles down. I mean, I kind of need it too. I feel like I just want to tell the people who keep me so busy at work, like, if you don't give me a break, I'm literally never going to get any of the stuff you need me to get done. So go away. That's the plan. Oh, did I pull? I did. I have 2 pages here. Oh, silly. I'm going to try to pull this right back up again, because I don't want 2 pages. I only want 1 or it'll be way too thick. Silly, silly. That was way easier than I expected it was going to be. That was kind of awesome. I have no idea why that just came up so nicely. Maybe because it's still quite wet. But let's stick this down and then go back over here. Okay. That was great. Weird. And go back to this side, and I was going to put that over here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I was on my way to work today and I saw in the snow, there was this little cat outside. It's like, what are you doing outside, little cat? But I think it was going home. I'm not a fan of cats outside on their own. I think it's because for so many years I have been an animal shelter volunteer, and yeah, I've seen too much of what happens to cats that are left outdoors. And people, a lot of people are really misled about the true impact. People often believe, and it's not true, that cats have an ingrained instinct that they must be outside hunting. And that's not true at all. We've domesticated cats for like probably thousands of years. So yeah, they don't have that need. It's especially important when you have a kitten that you don't teach them to be outdoors. But I can tell you from having had some of the most dangerous, wild, feral cats that they can be adapted if they've been outdoors before. Because if you love cats, you would not want them to be outside. It's a terrible life. And in most areas these days, especially urban areas, you really don't want that because coyotes have become quite prevalent, and they've also been pushed out of their territories due to, a lot of bad urban planning, not leaving enough green space, and so they end up in our backyards, and they too have nowhere to go. And food gets a little harder to find, right? So that's too thick. I think that'll be good. Yeah, okay. I was finding all the wrong scraps there for a minute. It's also very calamitous coming home driving in the snow. So many people just cutting each other off and honking, and we almost saw a guy get hit by a truck because he cut him off, and the truck driver couldn't slow down quick enough, I think, and that was quite a malady. I was like, I don't know. People are, I think, increasingly impatient too, and that's the big one. All right, so let's get this folded now. And I need a bone folder to really give that a sharper fold. And then we're going to go the other way because I need to go in here now, I think, probably. And yeah, and just flatten against the fold on both sides. Because when glue is wet, it can pool in the crease like that. So you can sometimes get where the paper will kind of pop out. So whenever you do a fold, make sure you go back and check it. Especially if you do a nice tight bone fold. When you've just glued, just go in and look for any little wonky bits. You can also, oopsie, you can also flatten. See, it's still quite wet. That's okay. I'm not going to stress about this too much. I might try to just pull the wrinkle straight. That's fine. I'm going to be covering a lot of this up. But yeah, that's fine. That's what I want though. Okay, then to build upon this froggy folio here, some of these need to get back and some don't. So I think we decide, what will the pockets look like? That's a good size pocket. So is that. And this on that side. Yep. And I think I'll use this one on the back. And then the rest of these are just going to be like little decorative bits. So I'm going to thicken up the pocket a tiny bit with a bit of paper. So I'll just glue the pocket ones down on nothing too thick. Just a regular, actually, book page. This book page. One. And we don't even need to use any good backing because these are all pockets. So you will not see the back of them. 2, 3. Okay. I'll just cut these out. Yeah, I love frogs. All frogs. I used to have a White's tree toad, and they kind of look like frogs, but or White's tree frog. It is a frog, actually. Sorry, and I love them because they look like these little smiling rubbery guys. They're so cute. I always wanted to get a Pac-Man frog, but they're a little challenging. I also don't think I want any pets right now other than the ones I have, but because they can be a bit of work. But Pac-Man frogs are funny because they'll try to eat like anything they see that moves. They have these big bodies and they have really enormous mouths. And they will try to eat anything. They're very funny. My friend had one, and she would always, like, as she was feeding him, she would always say to him, "Don't bite me," and he would bite her every time. They don't have teeth though, so like it's kind of like, I remember my frog that I had, Hippo. He never bit me in his whole life. I had him for like 15 years, and then one day when he was probably like 10, around 10, I was cleaning out his terrarium and putting some new crickets and mealworms and things for him, and he saw a reflection of himself in this, like, I had like a metal cup that I had water in with this solution for cleaning the inside of the glass, and he saw a reflection of himself in the cup, and he jumped, and it just, like, he managed to hit my thumb as he was jumping by, and my whole thumb went inside his weird rubbery mouth. And it was so funny because, like, he spit out my thumb, and I think we were both in shock. It was really funny, but he didn't do it again, and I was happy for that. So we're just going to make little pockets with these. So that one was a pocket. This one will be a little tuck spot over here, and then on the back we'll do this one here. Oops, wrong glue. And, you know, for a sciencey journal or a nature journal or a frog journal, this would be a lot of fun. So then I'm just going to go through with my bits and pieces and decide where I think they would be nice decorations. Like labels almost. Whoops. I'll glue that down here. I like that up there. And then just kind of go from page to page and decide where you would like something. It's almost like a little ephemera kit that you can make with these type of encyclopedia books. You get a bunch of little illustrations on a topic. It's kind of nice. Put that there because it will seal down the corner sort of where those papers meet. Okay. And you could also make like tags and use the rest of these as tags and things to put in the pockets if you didn't want to use them as decoration. I got one more I can use down here. Okay, so that's a fun little frog folio. All right, then maybe we should move on to these. Now, I really like these, and I think they kind of stand alone as cool pieces. Okay. I don't think any of this would go together. So this is going to be slightly controversial, but I think that, you know, part of Tuesday 10 sometimes is just getting something into a usable state, so that it's not just a paper shoved in a basket. It becomes something I can put away into my ephemera. And so I have like one of those little kind of knick-knack shelves that have all the little different sections that I keep things in. And one of the things are these little types of pictures. Some people may have like the Tim Holtz kind of, the Tim Holtz type of pictures, but I have those, and I also have stuff like this. So I think I'm going to call those done actually as is. Because they will serve me best that way rather than turning them into ephemera right now, like a tag or a, you know, something. I think I'll just let them be. This one though, I will back it and make it into something journal cardy or tag maybe. And then actually, while I'm cutting this out, this is the back side of this book that I got some time ago. I just used the last few pages of it. So I think I'm going to cut that picture from the back of it out because that's kind of cute. Be useful in a journal. Looks like a Kate Greenaway kind of thing, but it's Frances Bedford. It's the name of the artist who illustrated this. I'm filming this a little earlier than Tuesday. I got word today that David Lynch died, and so did Bob Uecker. Such a strange day of. Sad about David Lynch. I think he's one of the most talented filmmakers. Quite love his work. Yeah, I think that's going to go on there. It's very, I feel like her fashion feels so interesting. It's almost like, feels slightly Russian, but this looks like a heart. It sort of thinks of like Queen of Hearts and kind of over the top and raggedy, and the hat is just wild. So I think this goes quite nicely there. So I'll set that with my stitching pile over here. And this is just going to be a happenstance that happened as part of this. Now this girl and these maple seeds, that could be cute together. I don't know, I wasn't going to cut her out, but I kind of feel like I want to because I don't know what else I want to do with those maple seeds. It needs a focal point, and she would make a good one on her little white balcony. I always love like places in the world that have lots of outdoor balconies. Like you think of places like Venice and what's a really good example of another? I mean, a lot of Italy where they have all these balconies and they hang their laundry and, you know, they can communicate from their balconies. Parts of France are like that too. You know, do you remember when during COVID, like people would play music from those big balconies because they had to remain, I shouldn't say during COVID, but during the heat of the pandemic and during lockdowns, you know, when we all had to stay separate, and they would play music and sort of socialize from their faraway balconies. And I thought that is a really wonderful reminder of there still being like joy and people in the world who are beautiful hearts, you know. And I think it's times like that, and maybe even times like right now in general with the world and the changes going on, that's what we do. We like kind of, I think we continue to try to look for the helpers, right? Like Mr. Rogers always said, in times of stress and fear and worry, you look for the helpers. And sometimes I think that's just, it's your circle, you know, it's your people. Or it's like doing something, starting with a good thing you can do that you know is going to make somebody else's day, right? And then they'll probably pass it along. And they'll do something to make someone else's day. And then you just have this like chain of unexpected good things happening. Let's tear that there. Just looking at my scraps and thinking that would be cute on there too. Right there. Then this piece. It's funny, I went to my office today, and it's the kind of day when, like, we have certain days that we go into the office really that we've all agreed, like, okay, we'll come in and quote unquote collaborate with one another. Although that's not really my experience, but anyways, nobody was in the office today except for me and like 2 or 3 other people. And it's such a weird day to be all like in the office with no one else around. I was saying to one of my colleagues, I'm like, we could do all sorts of things in here with no one else. We could cartwheel across the floor. I'm like, next time we do this, we should have a potluck. And he's like, you know, I'm glad I came in today because I never get to hang out with you. And I'm like, I know, right? And so I used to do this whole thing, like, I'm pretty sure most of my team think I'm like the wackiest person to work with at times, but I think there's like small ways when you're an office corporate worker and you're stuck, you know, in a corporate office, which can obviously be so boring and annoying. Like, you can do things that like are not directed in any way by like somebody like an HR person or a manager, or like an upper kind of people manager, because those people, a lot of the time, they lack any kind of interesting or creative unorthodox thinking, right? You got to kind of go beyond that if you want to really have fun at work. And I used to have these like outdoor, like, you know, we would all sit in the park next door with our laptops and just like work together. We weren't necessarily doing anything together, but we were just sitting together and working. Or like I would do this thing, like come sit in my office and work with me today. So like instead of them staying at their desk, they come into my office and we'd all work together, like because I have like a big desk and I have 2 extra chairs, and so like we could sit and chat while we were working. Because I think if people do stuff like that, it's kind of awesome, because like if you think about, like I used to host this thing, like a knitting group that, probably you've heard of, like a Stitch and Bitch before, right? Where a lot of people get together and they knit together and, they chat about whatever. Why can't work be that way? If you don't have conference calls and you're just doing things like working on, computer work or answering emails or, doing whatever you do in your day-to-day job, do it together if you can. I know these days it can be a little more difficult because of, people's varying levels of comfort being close to one another. I think, that's still a thing, and it will be, possibly forever, depending on, what world health looks like, communicable disease and all that. But I think the opportunity right now, it's there. If everyone has taken protocols that they're not sick and, that kind of thing. So yeah, do weird work together. That's my advice. I'm going to take a little stitching break and we'll then talk about everything that we made. Okay, my friends, so we made 13 things all together. So let's take an individual look at them. So we have this tag with this lady, this stitched pouch here at the bottom. We have the deer tag with the little deer in the window. Our tall tag with the beautiful dove and the pine cones. Another collage board used on this beautiful tall journal card with this fun paper on back. I think this was made from Mary Ellen at Red Parrot, actually. This fun little journal card of the girl on her balcony and the maple seeds in the background. This big tall journal card of the medieval lady here. Very simple, fun piece of stationery. Love these flowers on this panel. And then our froggy folio with all of our frogs that are actually pockets here. And then our 2 useful little bits for making things in the future. This little happenstance cutting out of the back of the book. Whoops, my tweezers fell here. This fun kind of fashiony like journal tag. And then this little artsy journal card. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and don't forget that Tuesday 10 is an open collaboration, so I totally invite you, if you would like to participate, please do. The more the merrier, and I love to see people's work, so use the hashtag Tuesday 10 and tag me, because I'd love to see your makes. I love watching these kind of videos, just watching people make things. And like the nice thing is, like, you make a lot of stuff, you give yourself permission to use things up in your studio, and also you give yourself permission to just take the time to do it, to make the stuff, right? And sometimes that's something that we all need to do. So thanks again for hanging out with me. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. And for those of you who've been here, thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate you. And I'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye for now.